Have you ever signed a record deal before?
Mm-mm.
Have you been offered a deal in the past?
Yeah, a few
What's your opinion on them at this point in your music career?
on like deals.
Yes.
Uh, Take your time. Don't rush to sign up paperwork, cause it's never gonna be in your favor, especially if it's just a label that know you got talent. Always watch over your shit and watch carefully. Read everything, or have somebody professional read it.
Are you opposed to a record deal in the future?
Hopefully, however my life play out, however God wanted to play out, shit, I'm gonna go with it.
Be that as it may, were there any offers of record deals you received in the past that you regret not accepting looking back at your career so far?
No, not really. When I first came home, I did, cause I felt like who wouldn't need some money when they first come from jail. But knowing what I know now, nah, I don't regret nothing. I made all the right decisions.
And when you're referencing jail, you're referring to the juvenile prison
Yeah, that big.
scenario.
Hmm.
And that's something we talked about previously in another portion of this interview. Are you considered independent at this point?
Yes.
How long have you been independent for? Rough estimate.
Mm, since I came in the game, like 2 years.
And what's that like, being independent?
Uh, it's definitely more of a challenge than because you got to put in more of the footwork. You got to grind. You got to grind more. You got to be more hungrier than niggas, cause you don't got the access and all the team that other people got. So, an independent artist, you got to go all in. You got to really treat your career. You got to treat this shit like it's your career, cause it ain't nobody gonna back you really but you and whatever team you put together on your own.
Are there any other pros and cons of being independent other than what you've mentioned thus far?
I mean, yeah, for sure. It's definitely, of course, the cons is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be harder because, like, you gotta come up with your own money. You gotta invest into your own shit most of the time. But the pro of it is like, the more work you put in, it's gonna pay off on the back end. So artists is like Money Man, Young Dolph, and them, like they got these small distribution contracts, but they overall independent, and they probably, wanted to sign a deal back in the day, but I'm sure they don't regret not signing no deal.
Anything else you want to mention about being independent or a question you weren't asked? People want to know about it.
Shit, stay independent as long as you feel like until you really find the right deal that fits you and that'll work for your life.
Anything else on this topic? And for time reference, it's May 2022 now. Now, even though you're independent, what is the affiliation, if that's the right phrase, don't know here, you can correct me if I'm wrong, with Slaughter Gang?
Uh, they're my brothers. They ain't even really like, we met on some music shit, but soon we linked with each other. I ain't do no music with some of the bros till I was about a year in and knowing them. Kind of was like a genuine friendship. Niggas look out for a nigga.
And how did that even happen?
Uh, uh, 21 Savage, his cameraman, John Cannon, he from my city. He from the same place I'm from, but he been rocking with Bruno for like, a couple years, like 4 or 5 years. And he used to always, I'm sure he used to play my music around him and shit. And the first person that really like started fucking with me was Lil Harold. Like I've been fucking with bro since day one. And of course he introduced me to Savage and shit and got us familiar with each other. And yeah, it definitely worked out like that through bro.
So, how do you actually, who initiates it further after John is in the picture? Do you come to Atlanta and you actually meet up with Little Harold? Is that what happens? Or does Little Harold
Nah,
come to your city and
I met Lil Harold in Atlanta, but it wasn't like on no link up shit. It was really like it was natural because I pulled up to a studio just on a humbug and he was in there. So I had a session, and I had a session in there that I had booked my first time being in Atlanta, and bro was in there and shit, and he walked up and he dapped the nigga up and spoke and shit. We introduced ourselves and shit. And, it was just like organic.
And not signed to Slaughter Gang.
Nah, not signed to Slaughter Gang. Not yet.
And at this point, do you have your own record label?
PBN just me. It ain't no LLC, but that's me.